you and what you need. So I'm going to continue to do this like every other week and tackle whatever it is that you guys want. If it's you're running into a wall, objections, real play, role play, anything you're up for. So does anyone want to dive in with anything in particular? Anyone have anything they want to dive into, anything particular? What are you guys running into?
So I'll go. I've got two separate issues with two different market centers. One market center, I am not getting appointments to save my life, doing everything, but it's a really small, kind of hunkered in area.
Okay.
The other one seems to be doing really well. People are still interviewing tons of different companies, even if they're new. I mean, Eason's on too, so we're kind of struggling with some of that. We're doing really well this month, but just people are still interviewing tons of companies where we used to be able to close them in 1 or 2 appointments. It's taking a little bit longer.
It's amazing how many people are shopping, and I'm getting this a lot. So let's start with shopping. Who else is running into people shopping a lot more? Anyone? Okay. Well, there's some really great scripts for that. But it's not a script, it's a conversation, you guys. And so I just want to stop using the word script. It's really about a business consultation. And so I'm going to real play, role play. Who wants to be my difficult agent? Okay, Mark, you're it. Okay, so be a little difficult because we want this to be real. And yet, you've got to get at least to the needs analysis or get to something for you to be able to close anyone. And so before we dive into this and actually kind of pretend, remember when you're going through the whole conversation process, if you don't identify a gap, there's nothing to solve. So one of the things they did at Mega Leadership that I thought was really cool, and I'm just going to screen share this, and I'll make sure you all have this, is they broke down some really great visual aids for us to use. So can you guys all see the consulting conversation?
Yeah, this is on your video.
Yeah. So what's cool about it is there's steps to it. And step 1 is you need to do some sort of needs analysis so that you get enough rapport going and business conversation that you have something to solve. You don't continue on until you've done that. And they also broke down the needs analysis to really great questions to ask if you struggle with how to guide that conversation. And if you ask these questions, you'll also stop yourself from getting into selling and telling mode. So I love that they did this for us. Now, one step further, for those of you that have been coaching with me for a while, I have like 5 questions, not 27. And yet my simpler version of this is really the critical questions, like, what do you want to achieve? Why is that important to you? And you'll see that in this form, I break it down to the point where I'm making myself ask them how that's impacting their life. This is the part most of you skip. Most of you skip. It's like going from, how's it going? What do you want? To, oh, that's a bummer. I can help you hire an assistant. Like most of us like kind of slip right through this. And so I want to show you that this questionnaire really stops you from doing that. If you're guilty, because I used to do it all the time, I get excited. I'm like, I can help them, and you go right into solution mode. And the truth is, if you don't hang out here long enough, the gap will never be big enough for them to move. The pain of moving will trump the idea of what could be on the other side. And that's where most of us really, really struggle. That's like 90% of team leaders. That's where we're at. So it's not like unique if you're there. Okay. But I just want to remind you that if you don't get to really, how is that affecting your family, and you don't have them share with you their thoughts around this, there's really no reason to progress in this conversation. And then you move the conversation to, what is your current reality? What's your strategy to get to where you want? And then again, you want to revisit their pain here again. So if I was to show you this conversation, it's about getting the conversation going here, asking them like, well, what's the plan? And then they realize they don't have one. They really die. You got to let them sit here for a minute and be like, well, is that okay if you don't hit the goal? Because you said it was going to cost you like 100,000, or this would stop you from being able to take care of your kids' schooling, or this would mean you have to quit this and go get a regular job. So again, it's a guided conversation, and they really, 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 really hit home on this at Mega Leadership. So with that being said, I'm going to give you these resources to kind of help you keep in this conversation mode so that you don't miss your opportunity. Now, Margot, you said people were shopping a lot. And so I want to role play that with you, Mark, that you're just not ready to make a decision. So let's just assume we've already done a needs analysis. And let's say, Mark, what are one or two things we may be uncovered that you need help with? Give me something to work off of.
Building my database.
Okay. So you want to increase your business. You're really not being purposeful enough with your database. You're not getting a 6% return with your database, something like that.
Yep.
Okay. How much money is this costing you? How many deals are you leaving on the table in this scenario?
Probably 15 to 20 deals at a minimum.
Okay, so let's just call it $100,000 in GCI. In some of your markets, that's like 500,000. We'll just call it simple numbers. So Mark, from our conversations, I know we've had just a few. I really believe we can really partner together to help you grow your business. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, when we met, everything that you said was great. I am just not at a position though that I want to leave the company I'm at, but I do appreciate it.
So, rough math and being somewhat skeptical, I think we kind of figured out at least $150,000 a year of GCI you're leaving on the table, right?
About right.
So, I mean, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is. I just, I've been at this company now for the last 6 years, and the broker has really taken care of me.
Sure.
So I see that number. It's just that, gosh, I can't even believe I'm having this conversation where I feel like I'm cheating on him, having this conversation with somebody else. Well,
I mean, I'm sure he's been a great mentor and friend to you, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he really has. For sure.
So, here's a curiosity I have. If, let's just say you had this extra 150,000 in your pocket. I mean, how many years have you been in the business already?
19 years.
Wow. What if this was 100,000 every year?
Yeah, that would be allowing me to be on a beach somewhere, sipping on a margarita by now, and not in real estate still.
Right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I'm just curious. I don't mean to be pestering you, and yet, don't you feel that your friend would help you continue to grow your business if they knew what to tell you to do, or knew how to help you, or knew how to show you how to do this?
Yeah, I do. And it's something that I've had, again, 19 years in the business. I've always had that issue, right? Everybody's come to me with this great plan. It's probably more on me. So I bet if I did probably what he was telling me to do, I would definitely increase that number.
Sure. And let me ask you this. Why do you make it about Remax versus Keller Williams? Isn't this about you?
Never thought about that.
I'm not asking you to quit Remax to join KW, but I'm curious if maybe you've outgrown your environment.
It's a possibility.
And yet, one of the best things I can do is just earn your plan B spot if ever you're not happy. And I'd love to do that through some coaching with you. Would you commit to 4 weeks of coaching with me? No strings attached, so you can kind of see what it would be like?
Why would you offer me a free coach? I don't get it.
I'd love to earn your plan B spot so that if ever you're not getting what you need, or your broker partners with another brokerage or adds a fee or changes the rules, you always have your plan B backup. I'd love to be that person.
Okay. I'm open to that.
Okay, great. I just asked that you go all in when we coach together. Fair?
Yeah, if you're gonna bring it, I'll bring it too. I just have got these calls over the years, and
sure.
You step into it, sometimes it just fizzles out, if you will.
Sure. And here's the thing is, this is what I do for a living. I'm not like the traditional manager broker that you're used to. my job all day is to help people go to the next level in whatever capacity, if it's having more free time or making more money. So when I think of you, let's set up coaching on your database. But there's more I want to dive into. And so let's see where we can take your business together. All that I ask for is if you know anyone getting in the business or anyone else that would really benefit from my help, that you connect me.
Sounds fair to me.
Okay. And just remember, this isn't about you. This isn't about me. This isn't about your broker. This is about you and your family, isn't it?
It is.
And you may have outgrown your environment.
Possibly.
Okay, so end of role play. I'm gonna just take it there, Margot, with someone that won't decide. But I'm gonna bring it back to the pain, which was his database and the money. And I'm gonna remind him it's about him not choosing brokerages. The other way to close like that is to say, you know, here's the thing, Mark. One of the things that Keller Williams has done is we've become an a la carte company in a way, like you can choose which plan you're on. And back in the good old days, there was, you know, you were a dependent brokerage or you were a completely independent brokerage, you know, and agents went where they felt they would thrive the most.
Well,
Truth
here's
is,
what
Keller
I want-
Williams has become all three. So when you choose to join us, regardless of where you're at in your business, we have the model you need most to thrive. So as a new agent, you need so much help. You need so much handholding. You need so much advice. You need leads. You need everything. But as you gain your skill and confidence, your needs will change. So instead of starting with a company that you inevitably will leave, join us because we have every model you need and you can't outgrow us, even if you're planning on opening your own brokerage. So that's another way, Margot, that I try to close those people interviewing Coastal and EXP. And I like to take out that old sheet that we had that showed the three models and say, this company's this way. This company's this way. We're all of the ways. And a good way to do that, guys, is to calculate how much money they want to make. Most people need to do 8 million in volume to hit their goal number. And so if you show them that number with the models they're considering, they'll realize that they're going to outgrow that model. So for example, let's just say they're contemplating Berkshire Hathaway or they're contemplating whatever. You know the models around you for the most part well enough to kind of spitball what that economic model looks like. And if you run their numbers at where they want to get to, not where they're at, maybe they're a $1 million producer right now, and they really want to be an $8 million producer. When you run the numbers of them versus us, it makes no sense for them to ever be at that other brokerage because they're going to overpay like 3 times our cap or twice our cap. So if you show it that way and say, you know, it's kind of funny. I know they offered you leads and you felt good about joining their brokerage and they were going to give you a lot of help, but why would you ever join a brokerage that inevitably you're going to need to leave? Because I know you wouldn't want to pay 3 times more than you need to. And that's another way, Margot, to kind of shut them down is to kind of future pace them. But you have to be able to show the money in front of them. A great way to do that is either using that profit Excel spreadsheet, profit comparison sheet that I have sent you all. You can all email Sheila if you need a new copy of it, or in Broker Metrics on the financial screen, you can run their numbers for them right there. And that's another way to show them what that would look like. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Eason, I know you're running into this. What would you add? What would be the other zinger that you would, what would you give me as a zinger if I was trying to close you? Or what are you running into? You're muted.
If you're trying to close me and as a no.
You're not
thank
ready
you-
to decide?
I
Are
just
you
wouldn't
running
pick up
into
the-
that?
I wouldn't pick up the phone is what I would do.
Okay, so you got, that's a good one. So you've got a conversation going
Mm-hmm.
and then they're just kind of disappearing on you?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do now? I'm just curious.
I mean, follow up every once in a while, shoot them a text, send them an email about a class, or I mean, stuff like that, but that's all I've got.
Got it. So it is really about getting enough pain going so that you can keep tapping on a specific pain. So if you know what that is, sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't, guys. You know, you have different conversations with different people. If I was able to identify a gap, I'm going to just tap, 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 tap on that. I'm going to do something every week around that, even if you completely ignore me, Eason.
But so here's the question. What if you're texting and you just have blue text, blue text, blue text, blue text? It looks crazy. You look like a crazy person just sending check-in stuff.
Well, I would question what you're sending or how you're sending it. So I like curiosity because people can't stand being curious. I mean, it is good. It works for us. So let's think of a situation. So let's pretend you're one of these agents, Eason. What's a situation that you might share with me as a gap? What's a common gap?
Not enough time, or let's see, need an assistant and don't really know how to hire or anything like that.
Okay. So need an assistant, and they probably don't even know how to hire one or tell them what to do, and they definitely don't know how to train them, right?
Right.
So what do you, if I'm this agent in your office and I'm walking down the hallway towards your office, Easton, and you know I'm a hot mess, my business keeps blowing up, I keep failing forward, what things would you have me do?
KPA.
Okay, what else?
I'd have
Anyone else can
I'd
chime
have
in.
you talk with somebody that was doing what they need to be doing.
Yep. And if that was you, Easton, I would nudge you saying, hey, let me sit down and help you build your job description. Hey, let me sit down and show you an ad that's going to work on Indeed. Hey, let me sit down and show you once you hire them what classes they should take. Hey, your office doesn't offer classes, mine does. Why don't you move? You know, so it's like nudge, 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 nudge. Even don't take it as rejection when they completely are white noise to you. You are felt. But you have to just keep going for it. What else could you share? What other article? Exactly. Who could I introduce them to? And what I would do is be a little bit more assertive, but I honestly feel like you keep going and you keep inviting. Invitation calls and connection calls would be the calls I would make. Well, so let's say, let's just say Joseph is really a great role model in my office, hired an assistant 2 years ago, business has tripled. You know, I'm going to say, hey, Eason, Joseph's calling you. And he wanted to trade notes on his assistant, take his call. So I guess that's the only thing I would say, Eason, my tone would be a little pushy, probably, compared to what most people do.
Gotcha.
But if they still don't respond, don't even feel rejected. Now, I have gone as far as texting like, did I offend you? That works really well because people are like, no, I've just been really busy. So I'm just going to tell you, I only use that when I really, really need to get someone to respond. Because if I'm nice to you, I give you value, I give you resources, but you don't want to receive it because you don't want to be recruited and you don't want to change and you don't want to deal with it. My natural response is just not to respond to you, right? But am I mad at you? No.
No, it's true. I actually did this to a lender person of mine. He called me and texted me. I was just in the middle of something and forgot, but then I remembered that I forgot and I was like, oh, I'm just not going to text him back. But I mean, I get it. I'm saying I've been on the other side of it too. So.
Well, and you guys, this is luck and timing 90% of the time. This is not you out scripting someone. It's really about just staying and sharing and giving. So again, if you tag your databases with pain points, it's easy for you to go through everyone you're talking to and quickly find key pain points that you can invite this whole group of people to this class. And for the people that you actually had conversations going with, instead of just emailing and video messaging and all that, you're going to pick up the phone and actually call those guys. And it's going to be a more casual conversation. Hey, Easton, I know you're busy. You're always busy and that's your problem. So that's why you need to slow down and take this class with me. You may even have a candidate in the room. Let's get you in this class. And I'm going to save you a seat. Put it in your calendar for Friday. I'll send you a calendar invite now. That's my invitation. It's going to be like pushing you, like not like, would you like to join us for career visioning? No, it's like, hey, mister, you need this. And it's just how you would talk to your own agent too. It's like, hey, I know you're too busy for this, but that's exactly why we need to get you in the class on Friday so that I can help change your life.
Yeah, no, you're right. I
It's
would
the
talk to my own
same
agent
thing.
way different.
So
Generous
start treating them like that more. If you get to needs analysis, once you get to needs analysis, in whatever way, if it was a casual conversation or a more formal needs analysis, business conversation, whatever way you did it, if it was someone at an open house that you were just talking to, it's the same, isn't it?
Mhm.
But you know, the thing is we take a no or them ghosting us as rejection, which it isn't. They're just not interested in being talked into going. They're trying to ignore you because they don't want to hear any more of what you're saying because you're tempting them. That means you're doing a great job. But if you don't keep tapping on their pain, what's going to happen?
It'll heal.
They'll heal, or they'll just not deal, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's what you guys have to think about, what you have coming next. Is you have the market just starting to get a little wobbly. Anyone feeling anything? Anyone seeing anything? You're all in different parts. I know, Danielle, you're definitely feeling it. Erica, you're feeling it?
Yeah, we're feeling it a lot.
Yeah, and Easton in California is like, feeling what? Right?
We're
He's not
hearing
feeling
about it.
yet.
Yeah.
You're hearing about it, but as soon as they feel it, you guys, they feel like the sky is falling. And I've been through 3 of these shifts. It's like everybody moves like crazy. They do not blame themselves. They blame their environment. If I could give you any advice right now, it's talk to everybody and be nice to everybody and just try to get to plan B with everybody right now. Because the other thing you're going to see with the shift, you guys, is small brokerages make big moves. They merge, they start charging transaction fees, they cut staff, they shut one of their offices down, they make major shifts, and that's when agents move. So we just need to be plan B. Just think of it, that as your mindset right now. Even if it means just calling people, them ignoring you, you leave a voicemail and throw them a broker metrics in their inbox. You could do care calls saying, hey, you were great to do a deal with. Let's do another transaction as a thank you. Check out your email. I just sent you some great reports. Love to be a resource to you. And then start inviting them to stuff, like moving forward, like twice a month, 2 calls. That's really the cadence. It doesn't really matter what you're saying. It's just that you keep reaching out to someone once you've got one conversation going. And if you don't take the conversation far enough along through this process, which I'm going to share again, these questions of what do they want to achieve, why, and really getting to the impact of what's going to happen if that doesn't happen, to their money, to their time, to their lifestyle, to their happiness with their family, to their potential. If you don't stay here and get here, there's no reason to go on. So most of the time you guys don't get a chance really to get there, or they're not that open. And yet sometimes they are, and sometimes you get further along. You're at different spots with everyone, but it's just pushing them forward in that. And so you think about this recruiting conversation or process. I'm going to send you guys all, everyone that is on, I'll make sure Sheila gets it to you, get you those questions, because if you just use this sheet as a guided conversation, literally at the bottom of the sheet, it really says, okay, what are we doing next? And so that's the other thing, is when you're in a conversation with someone, how do you leave it next? Like, what's next? So I'm just going to show you this sheet one more time. I'm not pushing you on the sheet, but it works. And basically, if we go look at the sheet, you'll see, you know, what is your strategy? You remind them of the pain if they don't make a change. And then what's stopping you from reaching your goals? This is where they get like caught up in their own weeds. And then who's helping you? And this is where you're going to offer. You're going to close. You're going to offer to help. And this is, you're going to do one of these things. Now, this I made for worldwide. So we put DISC in here. You'd put KPA instead of the DISC, obviously. But one of these activities you should move to next. Is it meeting with you for a formal coaching session about how to hire an assistant? Is it doing the KPA? Is it attending a class you've coming? Is it meeting with Eason, who just hired an assistant a year ago and is like killing it right now? But the other part of that is how are you bringing it to the next appointment? So let's just talk a little bit about that. Like, how does that go for you guys? Or do you not have any troubles with that? Is that, where do you leave it hanging? Anyone want to share?
Depends on the person really, right? Or what their need is.
Okay, so if my need is, I need an assistant.
KPA. I'm going to send you the KPA.
Okay.
And show you how that works is usually where I try and leave it. Do they ever do it? No.
Do you ever show them your results?
Mm-mm.
That's when I do. I bring up mine as an assistant because that's my lowest score. I'd be the world's worst. And it shows I'm like in my sweet spot. So I say, here's my results. And yes, I could do assistant work, but I would want to poke my eyeballs out at the end of the day. And yet here, you know, so once you complete this, we'll get your results. You know, can you do it in the next day? You know, text me as soon as it's done. Let's check out your results. And I get them fired up that way, Eason. So that's how I do it. How do other people get people to do KPAs? Anyone have anything they would share or add to that?
I recently did, I'm inviting people to classes. So we're having these monthly trainings that are open to the community. And so I pulled up my top 20, asked them about someone co-broker list like you had suggested. And one of the, I invited them to a class and they want to come. And I said, well, before we start you on the class, what I would love to do is see if you're interested in getting 4 months of coaching to help you. And they're like, you do? I go, yes. But I would first like to establish a relationship with you. And we have this assessment, it's about 15 minutes. And they took the assessment and I met with them today. And we just did that 15-minute assessment. I just read through it with a needs analysis. It was really good. So they're coming to class and I'll have a second appointment next week.
Well, and you know, you guys, once you get to KPA, like, you know them more completely than they've ever felt known. So, and you can do that in 15 minutes with a KPA. You don't have to spend 4 hours on every KPA, but just getting to know them. Now, I always just like to have fun, as most of you know. So I'm like Match.com for real estate teams. So we need to know your profile first so that we make sure we bring in the right assistant, not only someone that can do the job, but that you're going to like each other long term. And so, you know, I show them a few of my results to get them fired up, Eason, so they're more apt to finish and be like, can you finish it this weekend? And let's pencil some time in Monday to see your results, and then they'll get it done. So I guess I put all that energy at getting them fired up about it to get them to complete it. Otherwise, they don't finish it. So anyone else have anything fun that they do to get people to do KPA? I love that, Danielle. Thank you for sharing. Just another idea. Another thing is, if they totally ghost you, Eason, is just to float a job description with a 30, 60, 90. They don't even know what they're looking at. They're like 30, 60, 90. This looks cool. Another great idea is to send them the MREA operations manual. In fact, it's kind of a shame that we don't send that to all of our agents. You know, when we onboard them, say, here's the manual. But we have it. It's in KWU. It's a downloadable. And so, Eason, if you were that person, I might say, hey, Eason, you might just even be overwhelmed with the idea of how to even get started. You know, we have it like the easy button. We have, we can help you get the right people. We can show you them how to do it by giving them an operations manual. They can attend our trainings, and I can help you find the right person. It starts with doing a KPA with you first. So again, I'm just role playing a few different ways you could possibly do that.
How do you address the ops manual being a little bit outdated as far as
It is.
tech? Yeah.
It is, but when you like, especially if you have the ability to screen share, if you show them KW Connect and just go cruise through some of that, they're just like, wow. You know, so even though we're kind of spoiled rotten and things are a bit dated in some areas, they're still just like, wow, you just showed me some good stuff. So don't be afraid to put stuff in front of people and show them our back office a little to be razzle dazzling, right? So I don't want this to be me just talking at you. I want this to be for you. So let's just quickly hear, what are you guys using to set, who's having success setting R2 appointments? Marietta, net what for March?
21 for March.
Net 21.
Yes, gross
Yeah.
21. So I actually just came back. I was with Jess at Mega Leadership Camp, and I got to tell you, they broke down a system for us that I continued using today. I booked 6 R2 appointments in a 20-minute window, and I booked another 4 today.
Okay, can you role play that? I'm the agent. Let's just role play that, because that's, who wants to hear this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hold on,
when
I
you
gotta
ready,
get
call
my
me.
sheet. I gotta
Okay,
get
go
my.
get your sheet.
I
Yeah, but
went
that is
directly
exactly
from-
it though. It really was. They broke it down, you guys, into chunks. They made everything like, not like, like everything else at KW. It's do this, then do this, then do this. And that's why when I was showing you that needs analysis sheet, it's basically taking you through the processes. So we're recording this. So anyone that wants to, you can go back to this. And we'll make sure that Sheila gets this to everyone on.
All right. Hi, Jessica. This is Marietta with Keller Williams Partners Southwest. I'll only take a minute of your time.
Okay.
How are you?
Good, busy, but good.
Awesome. I get it. Listen, I've heard great things about you as a top performer in our market. I'd love to get to know you and your business better. When this week can you make yourself available to meet?
I'm not looking at making a change. I'm really happy here with my brokerage. It's a great company and I'm good. I'm not looking at making a change.
Absolutely. And listen, I know your brokerage and they're great, but this is really not about making a change. It truly is. I want to get to know you and your business better. So what time this week do you have available?
What do you want to, why do you want to meet with me?
Because as a top agent, Jessica, not only are you taking listings that my agents are bringing buyers to, but also they're taking listings that you're probably going to bring your buyers to. And I just want to be in relationship with the agents that are doing business with my agents.
Okay. I can do coffee on Thursday.
Let's do it. So we'll do coffee at 10 a.m. and I'll send you a calendar invite and I'll see you on Thursday.
Sounds good. So what objections are you running into? And anyone want to ask Marietta a question, go for it. So what are you running into?
It's been really good. The ones that don't want to meet, they just basically go, nope, not interested, and hang up. But the ones that hear me out, I've been booking them.
Are they through, are these cold, warm? Like, who are you calling?
No, it was all cold calls. So I have been in my market center since September 1st. I was an agent in this market center years ago, and I came into this market center on September 1st. So I'm still going through the cold calls. I do get agent referrals, but these R2s were all cold. I had never met any of them. 2 of them, by the way, are indies.
Nice. You know, here's the thing though. I think we all have so many limiting beliefs that we're worried about all the things we're going to hear. Here's what I'd love for you guys to just remember if you've already been through a shift, and I'd like to convince you of to have faith around. When things just even get a itty bit wobbly, there is so much movement. So Marietta, by just having this conversation to become a little relational with them, you're going to be in such a good spot. And it's proof that they're getting a little nervous and they're kind of like, what's going on here? So I love it. So I would challenge you all just to do it.
I got to tell you, sitting in the room, there was probably maybe another 200, 250 TLs in the room. And I just, cause I'm one of those people that I actually invested in Mojo because I second guessed. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go down the top down report of Broker Mattress and just do it exactly like the paper says it. And it worked. I didn't second guess myself. I don't know if it was the energy in the room or what was going on. I just said, I'm gonna do it, feel the fear and do it anyways. And it works.
I'm really proud of you, and you're feeling it and you're getting there. And yet, you know, as team leader, you can sit in the front of your training room when it's unoccupied and do this, and you will inspire your own agents. It's a great way to get that mojo, or to plan a Bold 100 day in your market center, or plan a MAD day, MAD activities day. So you can recreate that environment, can't you?
Absolutely.
I'm curious to know how many of them will actually show, and what kind of follow-up you're gonna do to ensure they get there.
Great question. The average is 50% show rate. So if you're above that, you're a little superstar. If you're below that, then you might be trying too hard on the call and they're just giving you a yes to get you off. But if you're at about 50, Erica, you're great. And there's lots of little strategies around that, but I'd love to hear what Marietta would say.
So my plan is, and I've gotten my first 3 tomorrow. So the plan is my VA first thing in the morning will send out a text that he's going to loop me into and say, Marietta is excited to meet with you at such and such a time. You know, what is the one thing that you want to make sure you get out of today?
Sweet, that's a great one. And if you add that little, like, Marietta is so excited, or she put some great things together for you, there's enough little guilt there that keeps a lot of those appointments together, you guys. Guilt works. Sure does. That sense of like, oh, I said yes, so I better stick this appointment. I got to tell you, that morning of, that really does work. Got it. Well, I can't wait to hear what kind of results you're getting, Miss Net 21. And, you know, it's the R2s that you're hiring, because that's just exponentiating your growth. And those of you that haven't felt that yet, I mean, how long has it taken you to get here, Marietta? How many months of kind of going from gross 8 to gross 12 to?
So I've been in the role now 3 years.
And you've put systems in place now, haven't you?
Correct. Yes. Coaching with Jessica has been amazing. I'm
cracking the whip on your systems.
I know, but you're the one that taught me the system. So yes, kudos to my coach.
No, you're doing the work. You're doing the work, but I hope you gave some other people confidence to just go try this. Because it's so simple.
Yep.
So just here's the mindset I'd love you guys to adopt. Talk to everybody. Don't worry if you've talked to them before. Don't worry if they've been referred to you. Talk to everyone. And those that want to talk to you will, and that those that don't won't, but you can continue to give value. And as soon as they feel a little shift, if you're their plan B, you're kind of the chosen one. So how could you do that? How could you get in front of a lot of people? How could you be disruptive? Well, it could be as simple as just following what Marietta is doing. I mean, that's real straightforward, isn't it? So how many people did you have to dial to get 3 appointments set?
Today, I was in Bold most of the day, so I only called, I know it's gonna sound really bad, I only called 7 people. Sorry.
But you set an appointment.
Yes, I know, and I should have called more.
Well, and you set an appointment. So I hope you guys all got a little inspired by how simple it can be, and that this little brain of ours can really twist things up. Can it? Okay. So I don't want this just to be death by calling. I don't want this, because I'm, you know, this is end of day for me. I want this always to be what you need. So give me some feedback. I'm kind of guessing what you guys need. If this is what's working, great. If there's something other way I could take this, just ask. Danielle, did you have something to
send
add?
us the sheet that you screened and then the script that Marietta used? Sorry, Marietta, I said your name wrong for a second.
Do you have, Marietta, do you have it handy? Yes, no?
Sorry, I'm on my phone. Yes, I do. I will screenshot it to you, Jessica, and you can send it to everybody. I think that's
I'll
easy.
have Sheila send everything in one beautiful email tomorrow morning.
Perfect.
And if she doesn't get it to you for some reason, because you didn't register with your email or something, just email me and it's Sheila.
Thank you.
She'll get it to you, I promise.
Hey, Marietta, are you doing that 3-week boot camp thing? Is that what you're doing?
What
What is
3-week
that thing?
boot
Or
camp?
3-month boot camp? I don't know, with Mark Teeter.
Oh, that
What's the-
team there with Brian.
Is that
No,
what it is?
I'm not. I went to Mega Leadership Camp.
Gotcha.
That's where I basically did this, and that was 20 minutes of calling. And then that's where I got that script that I just used. And it's, I mean, all these scripts are stuff that we've had. I guess I don't know if it was the energy in the room or what was it, or I just said, you know what, I'm doing this no matter what.
You know, it's like sometimes we have to get over ourselves. Serious, right? So for those of you that are really struggling with this, finding a friend and planning when you're going to lead generate and getting on Zoom together and just running through your script real quick and practicing and then muting yourself. I know you guys hate it when I suggest you do things like this, but it really works because you get out of your own way and you can hear someone else having to be like, okay, I'm not going to die calling someone and asking them to meet with me. And yet for some reason, this brain can really be wicked. So check your mindset at the door. And it's not about what you're doing for 2 people, it's what you're doing for people. And if all you get is plan B, you're good. But it's with a whole bunch of people right now because you're going to have a lot of movement and you've never had a greater opportunity to double your office right now than for the next probably 18 months or so. There's going to be a lot of movement, and including your own agents. If they're not plugged in, they're going to blame their environment as well. So you just got to be real about that. And you guys know you can't force people to show up to work. Yet you can definitely help a lot of people. So real proud of you, Marietta. I didn't even know you had so much success today, so can't wait to talk to you about it during coaching. And I'll make sure tomorrow that you get that script. If you have any positive, negative feedback, any feedback, I love feedback. I want to make this special for you. We'll keep it every other week for now. And more real play, role play, the better, because then you guys learn and hear how others do it and inspire each other. And I know that's how I learned. So I'm probably guessing you guys learned probably similarly. So again, any feedback is appreciated. Mark, looking forward to starting to coach with you, and you'll be on my calendar ASAP. If you need anything else, reach out. If you're going to be at Mega or at Masterminds and you can't make your call, I'll make time for you. And so Sheila's reaching out to each of you to make sure you have what you need. Have a good rest of your night, guys.
Thanks for this,
Thank
Jessica.
you.
Thanks so much. Jessica.
Congratulations. Thank you.